So good to be back with you all. We look forward to this time that we spend in Spencer every summer. I thought this morning that I would invite you to our church in Pahrump and let you know how our church service goes, or how our Sabbath services go. We have it used to be a shoe store, and now we have made it into an outreach. And there's a sign across the top, and it says Oasis Outreach, Saturday services, Bible study at 9:30, and worship service at 11. All welcome. You walk into a large room. That's where we have our Sabbath church. And back in the corner, we have our Bible study, the chairs in a circle. There's another room to the back. We have a little kitchen, and we have 2 restrooms. So our Bible study, we are using, I didn't bring the book. Bible readings is what we're using, because the quarterly does not really work with our group of people that come. We start at 9:30, we sit in a circle. We go down, everybody has a chance to read a question and an answer if they want to read. And then we have discussion, and sometimes we only get over 4 or 5 questions before our time is up. When we're done, we all stand up, we hold hands, we have prayer, and then we give everybody a hug. That ends at 10:30, and from 10:30 to 10:45, we're rearranging the chairs and welcoming people that have come in later and visiting. And at 10:45, our praise team has some music for us. It consists of a young man that's about 26 years old. He's very comfortable up front. He's not shy or anything. He plays the guitar. We have drums, and Michael is our drummer. He's about 15 or 16. This is his job. He's only been doing it for the last year. And then we have 2 other guitar players, and they all sing. And so they sing for about 15, 20 minutes maybe. And then we have Jackie, who is our church clerk, and she gets up and she gives the announcements for the day. She gets up, she welcomes us, and then she says, "God is good," and we say, "all the time." And then she says, "all the time," and we say, "God is good." We just started that last week, but that's the way she starts out her announcements. After the announcements, we have the children's story. No matter if we have 1 child or no children at all, we always have to have a children's story, because we all are a child of God, and they want to hear the children's story, whether there's any children there or not. If there is children, there's a chair in front, and then they gather around and sit down in front. After the children's story, we have the wheelbarrow, and we have a wheelbarrow painted red, I think, with cans in it, and the children are there. They get up and they take a can and they go around to the people that are there, and you put in your change or dollar bills or whatever you want to give, and that money is used for the food program. After that, we have caring and sharing. Our head elder says this is the most important part of our service. He has a microphone in front, and he delegates somebody to go around, and you raise your hand if you have a praise, if you have a burden on your heart for someone, or if you have a burden on your heart for yourself. This can take 15 minutes to maybe a half hour, so that can take up quite a bit of time. Then we have the church offering, and the tithe that comes in is sent up to Reno, to the conference office. And the other monies is used to pay our rent, which is $1,100 a month, and our electricity. It runs from $250 to $350 a month. Somebody is delegated every Sabbath to speak during the month. Vern is the speaker on the first month. The head elder has charge of the second Sabbath, and he doesn't like to get up and preach, so he usually delegates somebody to do that. The third Sabbath, if you're there, it's the praise team, and we have a musical program, and we all receive a blessing from that. And the fourth Sabbath, our pastor comes. He's from Vegas. He lives in Vegas. He has a church in Vegas, and he has 2 churches in Pahrump. We have a regular church in Pahrump, and then we have our outreach church. And we have potluck that day. And I usually try to take something vegetarian. Our pastor's vegetarian. Nobody else is, but we do have a rule, no pork. And we usually label whatever we bring so everybody knows what it is. We don't have bulletins, and our church makes up a calendar every month telling us what's going to go on during that month. We have meetings in our church. NA has 4 meetings a week in our church. NA has meetings 3 times. And then we just started an Al-Anon meeting on Thursday afternoon, so we have that. The charge is like $15. They not always able to raise that much money, but quite often they do, so that helps. I also want to tell you about our food program. We still are doing the food program. We pick up from Smith's grocery store 7 days a week. We have to do it 7 days, or they won't let us do it. That was in the agreement. And we are open to the public to pass out the food on Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And the people have to be there by 6:30, and they get a number. By 7:30, the food is ready to pass out in the boxes. And so Similai, who's in charge, she's a lady from Samoa, she calls out a number, and they come up and they get their box. Sometimes the boxes don't have a lot in, but usually there's bread. Somebody, and I don't know who it is, donates bread to us every week. One week we got 300 loaves of bread. We have 3 deep freezers, 2 uprights and 1 chest side. And so we do have a place to put it. But usually there's plenty of bread, and rolls, hamburger buns, and that type. And then on Sabbath, we have to pick up, and they set it up in the back room. And so after the church service, they tell everybody, go back and help yourself. We call it kind of a farmer's market back there. So before they go home from church, they can help themselves to the food back there. We helped, in the month of June, we gave out 381 boxes. We help on Friday. Vern and I go in and help on Friday. And usually we give out between 20, 25 boxes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you do that 4 times a week, it adds up. And a lot of times the same people come every time, but then we have to eat every day too, so we allow them to come as often as they want. And they do not have to do anything except show up. Some places they have to, I don't know what they have to show, but whether they live there or what, I don't know, but we don't have that at our church. For Christmas, I guess I've told you that we do a Christmas run. The motorcycle club comes in and helps us. We wrap presents. We give them a box of food. And in the box for Christmas is a turkey, all the fixings for a Christmas dinner. And we give out presents on Saturday night before they do the run on Sunday. We all go in and we wrap presents. Money is donated to that. Toys are donated to that. And they helped 81 families this last Christmas. And that's quite a thing. We've never gone on the run, but we have been at the church when they're ready to go, and all these motorcycles are in a row, 2 abreast. And they follow a truck around that has the boxes of food. We give away bicycles, and there's one pickup that hauls the bicycles on a trailer, and it's really quite a sight to see. Red alerts the police or the sheriff's office that they're going to do this so that people don't get too alarmed when they're in their neighborhood and they see all these motorcycles. And usually they have their tried things on, vests on and everything, and they could get a little nervous, and so the police are aware of that. I want to tell you a little bit about our friend Tina. I may have mentioned her last year. She's a little slightly mentally deficient. She can read, and probably, she's 21 now, but she probably around age 12 or 13, her mind is sort of in that. She got married, and last September she had a little baby boy. He is the sweetest little thing. A week after he was born, he had a seizure, and they had to rush him into Vegas to a hospital, and he was in there for about, I don't know, 9 or 10 days. And you look at him, and he has such a vacant stare when he isn't smiling. He has kind of a vacant stare, and he doesn't sit up yet, and he's 9 months old. He doesn't crawl. They live in a 16-foot trailer, the three of them. Outside on the back side of their trailer, they have a washer and a dryer set outside. They got that after the baby was born. And by their front door, when you go into the trailer, they have a refrigerator. So it's not the best. They have I call it kind of like a railroad car, except it doesn't have any wheels on it. It's a storage area that somebody has given to them. Has a front door, no windows, anything. People have given them furniture, but I don't think they have lived in there at all yet. But 2 weeks before we came back, she told us that they have a homeless man staying out there with him, 76 years old, and he sleeps in this storage place at night, and I don't know how that goes, because it was up to 114 before we left Pahrump, and I got a text last night from my friend, and it's 103 to 105 every day, so that is hot. And it does not cool down at night. It's like in the 80s, maybe low 80s. Once in a while, it gets to 75, but you can't open your window because it's hotter outside than it is inside. And she's expecting again in October the 3rd. And I really have concerns for him. She'll call us when she wants to go to church, or if she needs to go to a doctor's appointment, and we go and pick her up. Her husband works at auto something, part-time job, nothing full-time. She does try to come to church occasionally, and we do help her. But she needs our prayers because she has some big problems. I also want to tell you that we're still having our Bible study, and we do that on Thursday afternoons. And we have dominoes at 1 o'clock, and at 2:30 then our Bible study starts. And we're studying the book of John, just like you are here. We're just maybe 1 or 2 chapters ahead. We have about 7 or 8 regular visitors. We had this little couple from South Dakota, and they would come in for the Bible study. But they're in their late 80s, and their children say, you can't come to Pahrump anymore in the wintertime. And so when they left this spring, they said they wouldn't be back, but we do enjoy them. It's really the consensus of a lot of us in our Pahrump church that time is growing close to the end. And things that are going on in the world today, every week, almost every day, are signs that tell us that the Lord is coming back soon. And it is our prayer that we will be ready and that you will be ready when he comes. Thank you.